Welcome to Market Matters. I'm Nadia Hassan together with Charlotte Chong. It is Wednesday, or as we call it, Hump Day, because we just can't wait for the weekend. We can see it peeking over the horizon. And today was interesting for the markets for the very, very simple reason. In the eternal, words of the Lion King musical, the fact is, Hakuna Matata, circle of life, what goes up will come down, and is same about a Ferris wheel. Today, the markets, not just locally, but regionally, actually showed some green. So market followed what happened yesterday. It still went up about 0.07% today, or 1.17, to finish at about 1642.54. And the more interesting story for me today is that regionally, everybody eventually just got out of that funk that they've been in since the beginning of the year.
So what happened in the regional market is SEA stocks, Southeast Asian stocks were up after China trade data lifted the mood in Asia. But the thing is, when I look at trade data, it still fell, but it fell less than expected. Export fell about 1.4%, while imports slid 7.6% today. Now look at KLCI.
Yeah.
Top gainers were BAT, Sintex and Lei Hong. Top losers were Panasonic, MPI and Petronet. And volume was at about 1.93 billion, slightly lower than our normal trading day, worth about 1.9 billion ringgit.
Yeah, so the fact is, I think when you were mentioning about the China trade data, it was a case of just, yes, it fell, but in this kind of day and age, it didn't fell too badly. So I think in this, because it's had, like we said, such a abysmally bad week for last week, anything that isn't complete anarchy, I think will make everybody sort of go back a little bit or test the waters. Now I really want to see whether it's actually going to continue because, Nikkei was up about 2.88%. Shanghai Composite skidded though, about 2.4% as you can see. So looking into probably the next couple of days before we head into the end of the second week for the year, commodity prices is going to be interesting. Crude price, there was an interesting report today. Could crude oil be 10? And do you think so?
Yes.
Do you really think crude oil can reach 10?
Crude oil probably would reach 10. Now, Goldman Sachs actually say that crude oil would hit $20 a barrel by the end of this year. So it's possible to see crude
10.
oil to continue to tank.
10 is so scary. Anyway, so moving on to our hot stock of the day, we're looking at another media group actually. This one in particular is Media Chinese International Ltd, up 4% to 65 cents. It was actually up a bit further during the day. In midday trading, it was almost like 10%, if I'm not wrong. And you can see that essentially the company said it was going to dispose of this particular 73.01% stake in Hong Kong listed One Media Group Limited. The I will say this correctly, Ming Pao newspapers. Is that right?
Yes, Ming Pao newspaper. Now this company, Media Chinese company, owns 5 daily newspapers, 11 editions and 3 free newspapers, as well as about 30 magazines all over the world. Now today's news, you say that it has actually gone up 10% or 6 cents today. And this particular company is listed as well. The company that they are looking to dispose 73.01% stake is also listed in Hong Kong as well. It has about a market value of 1.1 billion ringgit. Now, when I look at the annual report earlier, One Media Group, the company they are going to dispose, their revenue actually declined 11.9% and 49.2% in their operating profit for the year ended March 31st, 2050, and that's the reason why Media Chinese is looking to dispose this company.
I.e., let's just sell it. Is that it?
Yeah.
The fact is, right, CIMB does believe that this new existing free cash flow generation is sufficient to finance the group operations. There could be just a one-off, and I think this is, if you're a shareholder, this is what you want to hear. It could pay up to like 12 cents a share based on the full payout or dividend yield of about 19%. So you could see a special dividend. Okay, so here's the thing. You want to dispose of it. What takes its place? What takes its place, though?
If you want to dispose something, probably you think that this particular subsidiary is not working anymore. It doesn't generate as much income as you expected.
But do we feel that mostly because we also are attached to a newspaper? So, and we know how people are when it comes to newspapers.
A lot of people say that it's a sunset industry. So
do you believe it?
I think probably print is, but content won't be a sunset industry because people still read news. Still
Exactly. Hence why we are making this videos to show all the nice people out there who are. But anyway, just to sort of bring it home for you, we're looking at Media Chinese International Ltd. What happened was the share price went up almost by 10% today. Actually, it went up by 4% towards the end, and that's because they are looking to dispose of a controlling stake in Hong Kong listed One Media Group Limited. Whether it will, we'll not know yet, but it could mean a special dividend for shareholders. Finally, wrapping up with our stocks with the momentum, we were debating over this, weren't we? Because we're looking at essentially Dufu. Dufu Tech has been pegged as positive momentum by the Edge Research, which is always a very nice thing, which means that they think that the share price will go up. But again, do you want to see how much it went up? 23.53% today to 63 cents. In fact, the rise was so spectacular that Bursa Malaysia decided that it actually needed a love letter, didn't it?
So yeah, like what you say, it was slapped Uma by Bursa today, and it has surged about 44.2% from 43 cents on December 14 last year. Shares rose as much as 29% to 66 cents, and at 12:30 today is the most active counter on the exchange, settled at about 61.5 cents today. Now, this company has been loss-making since 2011 until 2013, but recently in 2014, it has actually gone back to black.
Well, isn't that also because they've had a little bit of trouble? You know, back on February 4th last year, although that doesn't seem so far away, right? They alleged that certain people in senior management had misappropriated company funds, about 3.9 million. And when you look at your earnings and you make about 48 million on the top, net profits about 4.6 million, that's not what you want to hear, is it? That is definitely not what you want to hear. So the thing was, it suspended the powers of its CEO and CFO, pronounced, pending the issuance of the report. And Ferry Hotstocks, which is very known for doing this kind of thing, did say that there were not some invoices for services. Is this a red flag for you, though?
Yeah, it is. I think they are still seeking legal advice. There's still a lot of unresolved issues in this company, and it still remains to be seen when they are going to resolve these issues.
Yeah, so the other thing is, but the only good spot I can see, and probably why there's that positive momentum, whether it's going to continue 20% tomorrow, I don't know, unless you're Henry and Linda. The fact is, they diversified into this non-HDA business. They do a lot of export sales, and now, because of the ringgit, if you are in export sales, it is almost certain that you'll have good numbers. But just to bring it all home for you, we're looking at Dufu Tech. These guys were pegged as positive momentum by the Edge Research, saying that you can get too much love, right? And get basically a love letter query from from Bursa Malaysia. And this company still has had its issue of troubles which haven't been ironed out, but at the same time, it's export, which means that it will benefit from the weaker ringgit.